to our HLN special report. Chris Watts, the true confession. Watts, seemingly thrilled to be a dad. You can practically feel the love you see in these photos here. Hard to imagine with his bare hands he would take his own daughter's lives, one with her favorite blanket. His older daughter, Bella, begging her dad, don't do to me what you did to her little sister, Cece. Again, unthinkable here. And prosecutors say Chris Watts wanted a fresh start in life, one that did not include his pregnant wife, Shanann, or his two little girls, 4-year-old Bella, 3-year-old Cece. But according to police, that new life would have included his mistress, Nicol Kessinger. Back with us, Nicol Kessinger, again, has followed this case so closely. Refresh our memory. How does she figure into this, and what is he saying now about that relationship?
Well, he met her at work. So she worked in the office, and he bumped into her June 1st of 2018. I mean, that's not even a year ago at this point. And he thought he was just going to bump into her once. He thought it was just a flirtation. But then he kept bumping into her. And then her job duties changed, so he was more in the office. And then it just sort of took on, he says, a life of its own. Well, he had his phone, and they would start texting with each other also. And when he would talk with her, she would see his phone right there. And she even asked him once, you know, why did you come here? He said, oh, we relocated from North Carolina. Oh, we? He says, yes, my children and I. But he also says the picture of Shanann was on his phone. Here is what he said to police about the affair.
What were the conversations with Nikki as far as, at some point you guys were talking about her helping you find an apartment? So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
That didn't really happen until like I got back from the beach. So I told her like I lied to her like, hey, you know, like I had talked to Shanann about getting a separation.
And that talk hadn't happened yet.
No, I mean it kind of like. I mean, she knew something was going on. She knew we weren't sleeping in the same room, and then she you know. She even mentioned the fact, like, hey, you know, Colorado's a 50-50 state or something like that. And she was like, okay, I guess you looked it up. But, you know, that actual talk hadn't like actually happened. I was just like, I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so, in conversations with Nikki, I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was. Mm-hmm. And then, so what were you guys planning?
So it was more like she was going to help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like Fort Lupton or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was. Mm-hmm.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that. She
didn't want that? Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I'd been a little too soon. I would have thought there was just, you know, we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month or and just talking about 2 months. That would have really. But she called her house, like her apartment, like her, I don't know, like her, kind of like a shield or kind of like her, she had another word for it, but.
Like her safe place?
Yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she was like, you know, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she would say, hey, you know, we just should belong here type thing. You know, okay.
And Chris Watts also says that with Nicol, it was sort of like a roller coaster that you're punching the ticket on and you just never can get off. Now we want you to listen to some sound from actually Nicol herself as she is talking with investigators. Maybe the story's a little different here. Listen.
At one point, he told me that they sat down and they talked about it, and he told her that he wanted to either fix things or, like, to try to fix things, and if she didn't want to fix them, then they needed to, like, move forward with the separation and, like, actually file for a divorce at this point was the impression that I got from this, and was what he told me. And so, he said that she was, like, pretty receptive to just not trying. He was like, she seemed like she just wants me to go. He's like, when she has her mind made up, she has her mind made up, and that's what she wants. And he's like, she doesn't want to try anymore. And he's like, and neither do I really.
One thing definitely from these transcripts is that Chris Watts really likes to blame others. First of all, in regard to Shanann, she went with the kids to North Carolina for 4 to 5 weeks, and he said, you know, I wish she hadn't have gone for that time. I wish she'd just been gone for a week, because it was during that time that he was with Nicol every night, he says. Secondly, he talks about Nicol, and he says how she is pushing him in another direction, how aggressive she was with the affair and with all of that. So, Mike, it's interesting. He really doesn't take the blame himself. In fact, that he wishes he could apologize to Nicol at this point for all that he put her through, and wish that it hadn't all happened.
You know, one other thing going along the same lines is him blaming others. He even, like, he credits this relationship, you know, from these interviews, saying this relationship contributed to the murders, but she, talking about Nicol, never asked me to do anything. Real quick, Gene, is she motive? Is Nicol Kessinger motive for murder?
It has been in other high-profile cases that we've covered that they believe this other life will be perfect if they can just get rid of this life. But what's interesting is to also murder your children, because many times the children can survive and go into that new life. But if you want to just get rid of that life altogether, you probably do exactly what Chris Watts did.
Unthinkable here.
Yeah.
And he's also paving the way for the relationship with his lies, and he's hiding the whole way. That this is, you know, he's lying, that this relationship's ending, paving the way for something with Nicol Kessinger.
Right, but the lies can stand alone. The lies don't have to go into then murder.